Hey, welcome to High School Game Day here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, Missouri Sports Network at Facebook and on YouTube as well. Certainly glad you've tuned in. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. This segment of High School Game Day brought to you by Shelter Insurance Agent Grant Baker in Aurora. And we go out to Marshfield, home of the Blue Jays, and head football coach Cody Bull. And Coach Bull, hey, thanks for your time today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see you, Guy.
You as well, Coach. And 1-1 on the season. Lost kind of a heartbreaker there in week 1 to Seneca, 31-28, and then last week really dominated a good, traditionally good Cassville team. Talk about the season up to this point.
Yeah, week 1, we played well at times, and Seneca obviously is showing that they're a pretty good football team, and we put ourselves in a position to win the game and made enough mistakes to kind of come out behind there. And I was happy with our guys' effort. I just felt like some of our young guys who are starting to be Friday night guys are, had a little bit of a wake up call. And then week 2, we progressed, and Cassville, as is always really good. They're coached super well. The program has a lot of history, so we expected to get a tough test, and our guys played really well, and it was fun to watch our defense really get after them.
As you look back, and I look through some of the stats from a week ago, you had a quarterback that really played well. 20 of 23 for 306 yards, another 115 yards on the ground, and 2 touchdowns on the night. Talk a little bit about his performance.
Yeah, he played really well. He's played really well both weeks. I've been real happy with how he's playing. He's done a lot of work in the off season in the summer, trying to, just to get better and better. He spends a lot of time extra film and learn the playbook and having to kind of be on the same page with me because with the way we've changed things up and obviously, he's my son, and it's hard to be too nice to him. But he's a very good football player, and he's real athletic, and he was able to show that with his legs last week, which we haven't done a whole lot, just trying to make sure that we're keeping him in the game more than anything. And because he can't hurt you with his arm, but he's definitely, he can run, he can jump. He's a very good athlete.
And you talk about some of the other kids that have really been playing well, and some of the things right now that you're doing well here going into week 3. You've got a good Catholic team at home, in week 3. Talk about some of the areas where you really feel like you're playing well.
Yeah, our receiving core has played really well. We've had a bunch of guys with reception. I think we've got 9 different guys who've got a pass so far this season. And obviously our sophomore tight end, Tyler Young, has played really well. Our junior kind of slot receiver, Joe Harrells, he's a part-time soccer player, and he's a very good athlete and has done a great job. We have Travis Greenfield, Cooper Kimry, Kyle Jones. I mean, we've got a lot of guys who they spent a lot of time this winter and spring catching footballs, and their work's showing.
You bet. As you go into this week 3 matchup with Catholic has struggled a little bit, but again, you can't take a night off in that Big 8. You've got the very, very good coaches in this program or this conference, and some very good athletes as well. What are your expectations here as you take on Catholic? What are you going to have to do to come out on top?
Yeah, the Big 8 East is tough. And Coach Rehagen has got a very skilled team. I think they've played 2 very good football teams so far, and that's probably not indicative of how they can really play, to be honest with you. They've got a lot of good skill players. They've got a lot of guys who are playing really hard. So when I watch them on films, it's a team that's made a couple of mistakes and got themselves in trouble early, but they've definitely got plenty of guys who can play football. Obviously, Liam O'Reilly is an outstanding football player, and we got to find a way to keep him locked down and just get some pressure and stop that new Veer run game that they've got going right now.
Kind of handicap that side. When you talk about that Big 8 East conference, you've got 1 game left with the West, and that's at East Newton. But for the rest of the way out, you're just playing Big 8 East teams. And you look at a Mount Vernon and a Rogersville, both started 0-2, and they're traditionally very good. And a lot of things were expected from a Rogersville team, but kind of handicap that and where you kind of feel like you guys fit in.
I think we can play with or beat anybody, obviously, but I also feel like the rest of the East side is kind of that way. I feel like Aurora and Hollister are very good. I think Rogersville can beat anybody on any night. They've played a couple of very good football teams as well. So again, I don't know that they've showed exactly who they are yet either. But it's most of those games, it's a 50-50 proposition this year. There's a lot of very good teams, a lot of teams that are matchup problems for somebody one week as opposed to another week.
As you head into week 3, have you guys been able to kind of relatively stay healthy?
Yeah, for the most part. We've got plenty of guys who are having to step up and play a little extra if there are guys dinged up, and it's been pretty valuable the first couple of weeks, guys having to step in and do some things. And we're going to take Crawford back this week, who is our all-conference defensive tackle, and he's a difference maker for us. He hasn't played in the first 2 games, and he's a 6'3", 300-pound, strongest guy we've got, and he's a really good athlete. So he's a difference maker for sure.
You're listening to the Missouri Sports Network here as we visit with Marshfield Blue Jay head football coach Cody Bull. And going into this week 3, you kind of thought the weather maybe broke a little bit, and now it's going to be hot again. What are the challenges there? You've got water breaks, you've got things like that you have to do, but trying to keep kids from getting cramps, other things like that. What do you do to kind of maintain? The depth probably helps a little bit.
Yes, yeah, the depth helps. Biggest thing, this time of year is managing pregame. In my opinion, it's by the time kickoff happens, the weather's cool enough to where it's not really a factor anymore by 7 o'clock. But that 5:30 to 6:30 range, that's kind of the area where you got to make sure your guys are taken care of. And hydration starts a couple of days before. So we're preaching to our guys on Tuesday. We're starting to hydrate for Friday. So hopefully, they've taken care of their business and they're ready to go. And we don't see any issues pop up.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, as always, I appreciate you being generous with your time here today, and good luck this evening, and stay healthy and stay as cool as you can out there. I know it's hot for coaches as well and media guys too, but
yes, sir.
All right.
Well, I appreciate it, man. This is I enjoy talking to you, and we appreciate what you guys do for high school sports.
All right. Head coach Cody Bull here on High School Game Day on Missouri Sports Network, and we'll be back with our next guest in just a few moments.